What's this horsehair? Oh, that's interesting. We've got that over there. That over there. This interesting, lovely letter. Dear Richard, you are the finest of them all. I've never tuned into a show which has just been like yours. It's been absolutely amazing how your little bald heads and glasses can pop up on the internet so readily. It is amazing. I am so thrilled that you exist. Please thank your mum and dad for having bringing you into the world. Well, I think that's a very laudable statement. Right, how are we doing? It's nearly time. I wonder if there's anybody out there in the world of watching the Vogue business. 24 viewers, 4 likes. It's all very good. Lights up there, good. Let's move that a fraction in. That's good. Oh, bit of thumb twiddling first. I think that's probably enough thumb twiddling now, isn't it? Yeah, okay, cool. I think we can switch on the title. How does that work? Ba-dam! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Vobes show. I'm Richard Vobes. This is the show on a Friday, the 24th, I think it is. Is it still the 24th? Yeah, it is still the 24th of January. Not January. June. Not June. July. There's no other month beginning with J, is there? 30 days has July, January and June. Oh, yeah, July, which is great. And hello and welcome along to the madhouse that we call the Vobes and the show. With me in the studio is Eric down there, but he's snoozing tonight. He's having a bit of a snooze, which is a bit of a shame. You all right down there, Eric? That's right, sir. There he does seem to be okay. And then there's you. There's you sort of wondering, what the hell have I got involved in again at 8 o'clock in the UK here in Britain? Of course, it could be a different time wherever you are. Check your Fitbit. It's probably time to get up and do some exercise, which is what we should all do. And I've been doing some, you may not know this, but I love a bit of thumb twiddling. I am probably one of the world's greatest thumb twiddlers. I can thuddle them and twiddle them each way and every way that is appropriate. But, you know, that's how it's done. Anyway, welcome along to the show. As ever, this is a complete and utter stream of consciousness. No idea what's going to happen. That's what makes it exciting and live. Unpreparedness is my middle name. Richard Unpreparedness Vobes. There you go. You probably find me, if you get a copy of Who's Who. Do they still do Who's Who? I'm in there. You know what it's like. The department that do the writing and the research and stuff, they got in touch, sent me a big letter on monogrammed handkerchief, and I did answer on a snotty handkerchief, to be honest with you, and said yes, I'm more than happy to go in Who's Who. And they said, who? I said, well, I don't know who's who, but I'm me's me, which is more appropriate, really, if you think. It's me's me. I'm, or I'm me. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Let's find out who is out there in the Vobosphere on the 24th of July. We have, hello to you, the Infinite Koala Army, with infinite koalas belting across the landscape. Audrey Ford Houghton, hello to you. Itchy nose again. Funny. So, turn the camera on, get an itchy nose. It's so embarrassing. Eric, have you got my spare nose down there? That's right, sir. Yes, good. I'll use it maybe a bit later. Connor's Dark Corner, hello to you, lovely. Judith is out there, making sure everybody is behaving themselves, which is great. At Home with Mindy, hello to you. Lovely to see you. Joseph Suter, and nice to see you too. Alan Sandell, hello. Linda Kane, hello. Ron Langley, hello. Sean, he's playing with his yo-yo. He's got it's a yo-yo and a half, I think, in actual fact. It's a bit like the old Diabolo. Do you ever do the Diabolo as a kid? You know, that's like an inflated yo-yo. It's sort of been put into special natural fertiliser and just gone poof. And, you go and do all this, they make the thing dance. I did dabble with the Diabolo when I was entertaining. Now, of course, I'm not so much entertaining. I'm just, I'm enduring. Yes, you're enduring the memory of me when I was entertaining, and now you're lumped with me when I'm not. Who else have we got there? Sean says, could you up the audio, please? I'm on full blast and it sounds quieter, or I need to clean my ears. Let's have a look, see if I can. Is that a little bit better for you? Has that managed to sort it all out? Good evening, says Roy Ballinger. Glastonbury Gabriel, hello to you, who's just got back from work. Poor bugger. He's been slaving away fixing bicycles. He's on the chain gang today, which is quite nice. If you can cog it. And Audrey says, think you may have a spud in your ear. Yes, probably. I've been planting, spud seeds and all of that. What ho, one and all, Andrew Norris is here. Only one Andrew Norris tonight. Andrew Norris number 1. Norris number 2 is on a sabbatical. He says, oh yes, that's better. I had a bit of rhubarb there. Good. To be honest with you, I didn't actually do anything. So I think that was a bit psychosomatic. But, I can just pretend to twiddle knobs like this. Is that better? Is that louder?
Is that louder?
Yeah, that's far too loud. Thank you. Good. Well, anyway, welcome along to another Vobosphere. If you're enjoying the show, give us a thumbs up. And to that person who likes to give us a thumbs down, give us a thumbs down. That's great. Don't mind. Carry on. It's all engagement. That's what we got. Now, I had a letter here from somebody today, and it says this. Dear Richard, please will you go out with me? I've been watching you from across the road. I think you're the sexiest man on legs. By the way, this is a joke. You're just reading this and making it up as you go along like you do on most shows. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. There was a bit of dust on there. What it actually says is, Dear Richard, please find enclosed 2 books. Ha! Books! Gosh, that's a novelty. I emailed them, I emailed you about them today. And that's actually true. She did email me about them today. Well, not today. Obviously, it was a day or 2 ago. I hope that you will enjoy reading about... we'll enjoy reading them. Yes, thank you. And find inspiration, as I have done, when looking back at what our music halls and theatres were like, and what life in Rodmell was like before. Rodmell. I can't remember how they're supposed to pronounce it down there in the old West Country of Lewis, just south of Lewis. Before Rodmell was a commuter village. Best regards, Anne Eastwood. Thank you, Anne. I don't know whether you're watching this old nonsense. You've probably got far more better things to do, but she's out there in New Haven. And very kind of you. And she's actually, she sent me this little old booklet here about Rodmell, not Rod and Mel, Rodmell, I think it is, Rodmell, something like that. Talks in great detail about Virginia Woolf and her suicide. It's always nice to read about somebody's suicide when you get a book. So that's good. Wrinkled stockings full of taters. Apparently that's what she did. There was a thing that she took a whole load of stones and shoved them in her pockets, but actually it was she got some potatoes, put them in her stockings. The map of the street as it was in 1970. And here is a map of the... Oh, let me just show you that. There we are. Look at that. Map of the street, 1970. And then here's a map of the street in 2020 full of skyscrapers and hoverbikes. I won't show you that. Anyway, thank you so much, Anne. That's very kind of you. It's nice to come in. And then she talked about the musical. Are you a member of the musical? This is Mr. Pip's Theatre. Never heard of it. The sensational story of Eastbourne's Royal Hippodrome. It looks very nice, doesn't it? That is the Hippodrome. You could only go in there if you had a dodgy hip, and what have you. Anyway, I look forward to reading about that. And this is another little sort of minor book called The Britannia Theatre by Mark Jones. Not Corporal Jones. They don't like it up himself. No, of course they don't. Don't panic, Mr. Mandarin. Don't panic, Mr. Mandarin. They don't like it up 'em. The season... Anyway, so interesting. It's just nice, when you get a few little things through apropos of nothing. So thank you very much for that. It's very kind of you. Brilliant. And then this. This arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Mysterious box covered in paper. I think it's broken. Whatever's in there came in the post and it's broken, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't know what to do with this because it's got a card. It's got a card. I've not opened the card. I don't know what to do with this because you may or may not realise that I have one of those things that we celebrate, or people do celebrate, once a year. And then as a consequence of that, they get a little bit older. Well, it's not for another week, is it? What date do we say? Well, it's the 24th. Yeah, it's not for another 6 days. So I don't really want to open this quite yet. But I don't know who it's from. There's no indication whatsoever. Apart from the Tunbridge postcode. But other than that, I have no indication who it could possibly... It does sound like this. So I wonder what bit of old broken crockery is in there. It's not too heavy. It's a sort of what's in the box. So maybe next week we could open that. But I daren't open it now because it's a bit early. But it's got a nice card in if you like your cards in buff. It's got a nice buff card. So thanks for that. So there we are. That was what came in this week. And I was out purchasing, ladies, Yes, I was out purchasing. I mentioned this earlier in the reading thing. Couple of books by H.J. Massingham. Massive fan of Massingham. But me, English Downland, written in 1940s. Talks about the various downs. And one of the ones, I'm hoping that there's a little bit about it because I'm off to Colne in Wiltshire in a week's time. And it's got a bit about the Chilterns. So I might go up the Chilterns. And The Englishman's Year by Massingham. This is a sort of little travel book where he travels around certain places, a bit like the stuff that we've been reading on the others. Anyway, that's some old books that I just got them because I was interested. So there we are. That's what I've been... What have you bought this week? I want to know. If you bought something interesting, do let me know. We've got a couple of videos. Of course, we've got a couple of... Of course, what kind of show do you think this is if we haven't got a couple of videos? Bing! There we go. Oh, sorry. We'll do the Nigel Sadler way. Ping! This is Call the Vobes on 07934746790. If you bought something this week, not in the past, it's got to be this week. We're Friday, celebrating things that you've bought, or if you've had a parcel, a present, or something that you don't know what is. If you've got a mysterious thing, I want to know what that might be. Give us a call on 07934746790. That is the number. The other thing that I have been purchasing, which hasn't come back, and as I mentioned, I am going to be going away for a week, and I will take you with you, and I'm hoping to do the broadcasts from this house in Colne. If the internet is up to speed, which I've been reliably informed that it is. It's all going to be terribly exciting. Is I bought a couple of OS maps, and I've discovered a new website, didn't know it existed. It's something like Dash for it, and they do maps. It was very easy to get the maps, and the maps were cheaper than you can buy in the shops, and I thought, wow. Now, I haven't actually got the maps. They haven't yet arrived, but if that is the case, then woohoo, on to a winner. So I bought 2 maps because this particular town that I'm going to be staying in Wiltshire is right on the bloody line. Isn't that typical? It's right on the line of the map, so you've got to buy one map for the east and one map for the west, but it is in the middle, so I should be all right south and west. So that's good. Let's find out who's out there in the Vobosphere and what you're waffling about. So we'll go straight over to the comments, and we do that like this in this show. Bing. So on the comments tonight, Virginia Woolf was a terrible snob. Yes, that's what I led to believe. So I know she wrote these, what were they, stream of consciousness books she wrote. I can never quite understand what a stream of consciousness book would be. You know, I can imagine that is Johnny went to the bureau. He took out a pen and paper. Oh, I must buy some cat food. And when he was writing his letter to his lady fair... Oh, is that the door? I'm going to ignore it. you can imagine that the stream of consciousness written by somebody as a novel will just have you going off on a sort of all sorts of things. I wonder what Leonard is up to this afternoon, or better write that down. And it will have no bearing on the story. So, yeah, I can't quite work that out. It's a very odd thing. Andrew the Sugget. Andrew the Sugget. Sounds like a model to make maybe a plane, says Beach Writer. Oh, is that what you reckon it is? I hope not. I hope it's not a sort of fiddly thing like that. I hope it's not all in bits that I've got to make it. I don't... Oh, I know what it must be. It's probably a farmyard. I bet it's a farmyard, because I've been waffling on about land and sort of, trying to grow stuff and stuff. I bet it's a farmyard. Who knows? Could be. Anyway, we'll come back to that shortly. Robert Croser says, I like the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody expects him. Yes, is that... So what have you been buying? I'm just going to see... I bought Task, says... what do you mean you bought Task? Oh, bought face mask. Oh, yes, the other thing is, have you been out into the shops? I went into the bank today, ladies and gentlemen. This is an irony in itself, isn't it? I went into the bank today to put a cheque in, but I had to put a mask on to go into the bank. Now, that is a funny old turn-up for the books, isn't it? I did think that maybe I ought to have gone in with a sawn-off shotgun. Perhaps they would have been, sorry, mate, you need a mask and a gun and a bag marked swag. Yeah, and sorry, you didn't cosh me over the head before you came in. No, you can't come in. You come back when you've got a cosh. Just thought it's a bit strange going into the bank with a mask on. It's ridiculous. And then, of course, I looked through as I went into the town today, ladies and gentlemen, I looked through the windows of the shops, and there was a hairdresser's. There's a hairdresser's near me, and there was a woman being done, and there was somebody waiting in the chair, waiting to be next. No mask. No mask on. I thought, well, you're supposed to be wearing a mask, thank you very much. Went past a little cafe, nobody was wearing a mask there, apart from our very unusual bloke in the corner who had this, it was a pair of tights on, but a hole here and a straw, so he was getting up his milkshake, apparently. So that was okay, that was fine, but nobody else was wearing a mask whatsoever in any shape or form. Or if they were wearing them on their other face. A lot of people have two faces. Yes, I don't know where the other face was, because I wasn't prepared to look. I bought fish bait, says Connor's Dark Corner. So there we are. That's something interesting. What kind of fish bait do you buy? Do you buy worms? Do you buy maggots? Do you buy... You see, I did think about that. And what I used to do was I would buy fish. And I would buy fish, several fish actually, and I would sit on the bank of the River Severn when I was up there in Shrewsbury, and they'd have these competitions, and I'd be sitting there like this, la la la, and I'd put a great big trout on the end of a line, chuck it in like this, and then when people were coming round and going, oh look, what's going on there, a bit of fish, I would, oh God, look at this, oh, I'd have a bell and a hooter going off. I would have the Jaws theme going, realistic, and there would be this great big fish, and I'd pull it out and shove it into a net like that. A net didn't mind; she had a big mouth, and that was great. And then I would have another one. Maybe this time I'd have a pike, shove that in, and nobody's looking, wheel it in. See, so that's probably a better idea, isn't it? Because if you've got a bait, you've just got to then wait with the bait. Maybe that's name of a song. Wait with the bait, it's great. Not a very long song, I grant you. So there we are. Like to the Lighthouse and Mrs. Dalloway, says Mike Stevens. I must have missed the reference on that. At Home with Minnie says yes, and I hate you for it. Right. Sean's Garden and Allotments and his homestead says, at the Vobes Show, what other books do you have of H.V. Morton? When I finish mine, I was going to pass them on if you've got any space on your shelf. Oh, yes. I don't have space on my shelf. I have them all over the place. What other books? I've only got the I Saw Two Englands. So, yes, do pass them on. I'd be very thrilled. I was thinking of having a look at his list and seeing what his latest work is. I think he's got one called 6 Foot Down and Pushing Up Daisies, hasn't he? Something like that. I'm sure he's got one from, or Books I Thought I Wrote in the Coffin. That's another one of his great things. Tour of the coffin from head to toe. Living in the dark in an oppressed environment, something like that. Life with the Worms, maybe. I'm sure he was prolific in his later life, if you can put it like that. Wonderful book, Mike. Yes, we bought... Oh, here we go. Ron Langley, fantastic. You bought a water feature. Oh, what's that? You've got water that is in the shape of something, and you switch it on, and there it is for a moment and gone. Lovely, lovely. Judith says, I bought a print for my kitchen today. Oh, lovely. What sort of print was it? Was it, don't tell me, was it Rembrandt's flowers? Was it Rembrandt's bathroom? Or Rembrandt's geraniums? I think Rembrandt, I don't know whether it was Rembrandt. Was it Rembrandt? Or was it Tchaikovsky who did all those amazing pictures of... or was the other one? Who was the one without the ear? Who lopped it? I know Beethoven also chopped his ear up. There was a famous painting, wasn't he? I can't remember his name now. He do you know the one that had problems? That painter. Yes, he had problems. Had no arms. It was difficult painting. So he used his teeth and his. No, I'm not talking about him. There was another bloke. There was another famous painter. Of course, there was that Spanish one who had all the watches, but I don't know where he went to buy his watch. You can imagine him coming out with his big moustache going, aha, today I'm going to paint. He's sort of Italian now, but I'm going to paint some watches. It's going to be great. I've got all his... And he's left them out in the sun because it's in Spain, and they've all, melted. I mean, he must have had marzipan watches, really. It was a bit unfortunate, really. But luckily, nobody had thought about doing melted watches. I mean, of all the things, there was that bloke who was, what was his name? Stromboli. And he'd done melted bicycles. There was another one who had done melted grandfather clocks. But no one had done these melted watches, the fob watch. No one had been fobbed off with any of that nonsense. So he was very lucky. He was very lucky, and it just caught my eye, I tell you, of the public imagination. It's a Lego cow, says Edward Moulding. What, this? Is this a Lego? Oh, it could be, couldn't it? It could be a 1,000-piece Lego cow. Not that we're doing any advertising, of course. What's the print of? Says Dawn Copping. But that's what we want to know. What is the print of? Mike Stevens says the hairdresser has to wear a mask, not the customers. Well, wait a minute. That can't work because surely then the tiller in the bank has to wear the mask, not the customers. I mean, you're going in there, surely. But I had to put my mask on. And my DMs and anything. And that actually, because I didn't have a mask going in there, said, oh, can you just blur your face then? So we don't know who it is. I said, yeah, no problem. And I just put a blur on. I don't know whether you've got your own personal blur. It is possible. Or otherwise you can rearrange. There was a big hefty bloke, big bloke built like a brick house who said, don't worry, I can rearrange your face for you. I thought it was very nice. I'll have my ear here and ear on my chin, maybe move the mouth up the side. Perhaps if you can, just paint a melted clock on the side of my face and I'll be Botticelli or someone. He was a cellist, wasn't he, Botticelli, if I remember rightly. He had a big bum, Botticelli. He had a big... Yeah. Dawn says, it sounds lovely, Judith. Wait a minute. It's a colourful seaside bay with flowers in the foreground. Hard to describe. Well, you've just described it very actively. There is a seaside bay. Presumably it's got the sea in it. What more do you need? And there's probably something that delineates the edges of the bay. Otherwise it would just be the sea and the ocean. And no doubt there's sand and rocks. And then there's some plant in the probably a bit of marijuana, isn't it? Just growing up there in the thing, giving you a bit of depth perception. Lovely. And how much did you pay for that? Because I know you're a bit of an art connoisseur, and I remember you telling me, Judith, that the last one you bought, was about 1.3 million, if I remember rightly, and is next to not Botticelli, not Rembrandt, the other one, Gorgonzola. He's another great artist. Do you know when I was younger, not that young, with my daughter Georgie. We did some painting, and I said, we're going to give this paint. What we'll do. Georgie and I neither of us could paint very well. Georgie could paint better than I. We painted some rubbish, and I said, look, let's just put Lorenzo on it as the artist sign it. Lorenzo. No idea, Lorenzo. And we went 74. Could have been 1774, 1874, 16. I mean, it was in poster paint, I admit. On canvas, though, ladies and gentlemen, on canvas. And I said, let's bung them on eBay. Just chuck them on eBay and say it's a rare one of Lorenzo's paintings and see, because he just thought someone somewhere will go, oh, I bet that's worth a lot of money. Yes. Because how people like art, don't they? They love it. They no idea what it means, no idea any reference to anything. They just think, oh yes, it's talking to me. Hello, mate. Ooh, it literally is talking to me. And actually, that would be quite good, wouldn't it? To put a little pre-recorded thing in, so that as you approach it, there's a sensor that shows somebody's close to it, and it talks. And then you could actually say, that print talks to me. Hello, mate. You could do a picture of a parrot, which would be more apparent and appropriate, even. Vincent van Gogh. He was a good one, wasn't he? But, of course, every time he was lovely. He's a very good painter, except he never quite managed to get it, did he? Because, he was quite blotchy. He was quite blotchy with his oils, and he'd be there, and he'd... Poor old Vincent van Gogh. And I think very often you can see his thumbprints on there where he's... Whoa! Bollocks! Oh, sorry, mustn't swear in this, it's for the family. Oh, Horrocks. Horrocks. You can say Horrocks. Jane Horrocks, you can say that. That's a swear word in my opinion. Vincent van Gogh. Dali. Oh, yes, Dali. That's right. He ate a lot of curry, didn't he? And Dali was one of his favourite, if I remember right. I remember reading about Vincent van... That's what gave him the cough, the chili Dali. I often think you are a little surreal, says Linda Kane. Often? I should think you think that every day, don't you? There is a little surreality about me. I like a bit of... There's nothing nicer than getting away from everybody and being, very quiet and peaceful and having that a little bit of surreality. It's very nice. Bit of surreality. Surreality. Da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. It is nice. Audrey says, LOL, days of yore. Julia says, I like Dali and Van Gogh, and I like a good, nice, ready rub steak. Put that in your pipe, a nice ready rub steak. Always good to try and get that alight with the old blood seeping through. Not so easy. And Sean says, he lived down the road from me in Brixton, did old Van Gogh. It doesn't surprise me. He did get around a lot. I used to go to the fridge. I think that was in Brixton. When in the summer, when it was very cold, he'd go in there and keep himself warm, which was nice. Anyway, so nobody's bothered to give me a call on the. Look at that! Isn't that what is that? You turn the phone thing off, and somebody. That's how it works in this show. Let me just get my headphones on. And we'll be able to find out who's calling up the old Vobie, one-eyed Kenobi. Good afternoon, good evening to you.
It's afternoon here, Vobie. This is Jeff.
Is it Jeff? Is it Jeff?
It is.
Killer Kellison, as I like to call him.
I didn't buy anything today, but I made a donation. I donated some money to Gabriel Avalon's charity that he has mentioned several times because I love his videos, and that's what I did today.
What charity has he got going?
The kitty charity shop that he has mentioned several times.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Aren't you a generous soul?
No purchases, but I did that today. I very much enjoy his videos.
Yeah, well, we all enjoy them. And as it so happens, we do have one from the lovely Gabriel to play in the show today.
Well, how wonderful is that? And I'm done today, so I can sit and watch it.
Where are you at the moment, Mr. Kellison?
I'm on the Kansas Turnpike. I have to go up tomorrow to northern Iowa and get rid of this load, and then I'm on my way to Arkansas. And yes, Arkansas.
Well, what's funny about Arkansas?
It's all I can say is it's a different place.
I've been to Arkansas, as it happens. We've got Charles Stell, who lives in Arkansas. Very lovely chap, and I've stayed in his trailer. He's got this very large doghouse as well, which I've also poked my head. I haven't stayed in there, but we stayed in his lovely trailer there in Arkansas.
I'll tell you, one of the prettiest places I ever been is in Arkansas. It's where you go over the hills, over into the corner of, when you come out in the corner there by Tennessee, go over the mountains, and it is, that corner of the state is absolutely beautiful.
Is there lots of piney woods?
Yes.
Yes. Well, when I was with a friend of mine in 2006, and when we turned up, we drove through this bit of Arkansas. I can't remember the village name now, but it was one of these right out of the way, middle of nowhere places, and there were a lot of what at first gave us a slight pit in the bottom of our stomach feeling, because it was like, you remember the film Deliverance? Yeah, that's how I imagine that somebody would be sitting there with a banjo when we arrived, because there did seem to be those, people with fingers missing and eyes missing and had two heads, and it was a bit of a strange place. And then we met up with Charles, and everything was great. And Brandy, his wife, who was lovely, who's since passed away now, but she was like, and we had moonshine. And it was something like 90% proof. Moonshine.
I can picture this in my mind, and someone in the background saying, "You got a pretty mouth, boy."
Exactly. So that's so that was Arkansas. So I have actually been to Arkansas, 2006, a long time ago now, but it was great fun.
Some of those videos are enjoyable, and some of them are hard to watch because you were having problems with your eye then, and you were just miserable.
Yeah, I was miserable. I still am miserable. You should see me when we're not doing the show. I sit in a little dark room, feeling sorry for myself.
You could just tell you were in pain the whole time. Some of those videos are difficult.
Yes, well, I'm sorry about it. I mean, I did my best, but it was a very painful time. And the first time I was driving, the second time I couldn't drive because of the pain in the eye, and I could barely open it. But and I had the dark glasses on to try and look cool. But I was not really very. I'm not somebody who could look cool. I'm not one of the cool dudes that can look. Some people, just like Clint Eastwood, he can look cool riding in on a horse with no name in his poncho. If I rode in somewhere into an old village in the middle of nowhere in a spaghetti western on a horse with no name and a poncho, I'd look like an idiot. Wouldn't I? I mean, the good, the bad, and I'd be the ugly. I'd be the not so much ugly, but I'd be I'd just be the completely out of place. Well, I can't ride a horse for one thing. I suppose that's part of it. I could come in on a unicycle. There's no answer to that.
I hear it. On good that you can still walk on the ball.
I can walk on my ball. It's very true. Brings water to the eyes, but I can do it.
Someone told me you could still do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and juggle on it. And juggle, just about. I can't juggle 5. I can't do 5 balls anymore, unfortunately, but I could still do 3 clubs or 3 balls, probably 3 knives, 3 chainsaws. I could probably do.
Yeah.
Not going to try it though, because you make one mistake, and you're a one-handed clapper.
Yeah, I don't want to watch you juggle chainsaws.
No. Well, I'm gonna put on Gabriel's video. I think we should enjoy that. You'll like that. So there you are in Illinois. Did you say?
Kansas, on the Kansas Turnpike.
Oh, on the Kansas. I have no idea what a Kansas Turnpike is, but I'm sure that's quite painful.
It's like every other turnpike, but it's expensive.
Oh, is it? And have you got your pan with you?
I have it all boxed up. I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to send you the pan and the gold and the guzzler bottle, and with the hopes that you get wealthy.
Fantastic. You're going to send the gold?
Sure, why not? It'd be wonderful. You can show it on with your microscope.
Yeah, no, I will. But will it get through? Are you allowed to send gold from America across the continent?
I don't know. Let's try.
Let's try. No fear, Kellison. That's what I like about you, Jeff.
There are some really amazing things that you can't send because I have traveled from one end of Canada and Mexico and America all over, and they have a brand of potato chips that are so good. They're unbelievable. And I was going to send you a bag of those and say, you got to try these. You cannot send potato chips.
Can you not?
You cannot.
Well, and I dare say there's no way that we would get them in the UK. There'd be no American outlet that sold them.
No, it's Tim's Cascade chips. They're from the Northwest.
Tim's Cascades?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing if I suddenly pulled out a big packet of Tim's Cascade? Obviously, I'm not going to because I haven't got any, but that would just be an amazing moment.
Well, get the Hawaiian sweet onion. Oh, my God.
A what on 3 onion?
The Hawaiian sweet onion.
Oh, Hawaiian 3 onion. Are they your faves?
Oh, man.
Oh, well, that sounds really, really nice. 3 onions. I mean, we only get cheese and onion here, and it's probably a very ubiquitous onion, and it's probably fairly bland compared to the Hawaiian 3 onion.
Yeah, they're quite tasty. Well, I don't want to hog the show. Hello to everybody, and I hope everybody's well.
It's always a joy to talk to you, Jeff, and thanks for ringing in.
I'm working on my next video. It's going to be a day in the life of me and Pete.
Oh, you and Pete?
Yeah, my sock monkey.
Oh. Okay. Well, I look forward to that then. We loved the other one, so thanks so much for that, Jeff, and thank you for calling in.
Talk to everybody later. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. There we are, the lovely Jeff Kellison, Killer Kellison, generous Kellison, who's made a big donation. Actually, I don't want to say anything too loud, but he also made a little donation, not a little donation, a very nice donation to the old Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi, and also for when I meet up with Glastonbury Gabriel. So we'll go and have a bit of a treat somewhere. Hopefully, if there's places open. Anyway, so there we go. How about that? Wasn't that lovely? Fantastic. Let's Killer Kellison. What a guy, says Andrew Norris. Just got there. Hi, Vobes and the lovely Julia and all. Seeley Chase, hello to you. Thank you very much for calling in. Or not calling in, but for looking in. Robert Croser says, wasn't that the villain in Buck Rogers? Oh, no, that was Killer Kane. Yeah, I didn't watch Buck Rogers. Beach Rider says, yes, Arkansas is nowhere to stay. No thanks. Very deep south. You were lucky as protected. Yeah, well, we had lovely Charles Stell was looking after me. I met an American cop from Arkansas in Lansing, says Linda Kane. Well, they get about, you know. He wasn't happy being driven around the narrow lanes of Sussex in my Mini. Oh, really? Well, America says it's big and all that, big and wide, but I don't think it is. I think it's as small and as narrow as York. Andrew Norris says, didn't he find Sussex lanes cute? Yeah, because most people find them cute. And Audrey says, Americans are always terrified by our narrow lanes. Yeah, that's why it's always nice to have an American guest in the passenger seat, because that's the seat that they would traditionally be driving in, and then drive fast, as Robert Croser knows, down the narrow lanes. I've got a sort of history on doing that in Galloway and Dumfries, I think we were in. Yeah, so he was scared, says Linda Kane, hanging on to the dashboard. Great fun. That was back in the late 1970s. What? Have you had your Mini all that time? Lucky you. It's still going. Fantastic. Right, okay. Mike Dixon says, sorry I'm late. Just got back from Ramsgate. Had 3 lovely nights in an amazing 2-bedroom apartment on the seafront. Funny you should say that, because we have spy cam on Mr. Dixon, and we may well have a look at that apartment. He says there's lots of sunshine and wine. Oh, that's why he was late back. Sadly, Margate looked dreadfully neglected. Well, that is Margate. It's a bit like Tracy Emin's Unmade. And Seeley Chase is saying yes. Andrew Murphy says, I made £20 today at the scrapyard, but spent £210 in IKEA on a new mattress. Oh dear, I'd like to know what you took to the scrapyard, young fella, my lad. That would be good. Right, let's go in and have a look for our first video of the day. And our first video is, well, we'll have a look at Gabriel because we mentioned him. And we've also got Mike Dixon, a look in Ramsgate. At an expensive apartment, a posh, exclusive apartment in Ramsgate. That's coming up on the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But first, we're carrying on with our walk with Barnaby and the lovely Gabriel.
Well, it had to happen eventually. Here's the interesting gratuitous tree shot. Don't know what they are. Can anybody tell me? If Bowie was here, this would be Bowie Cam. This is from my mate Richard, who's very keen on cows. Over there is Gabriel Hill in the distance, looking back the way we've come. Now, because this is the levels and because it's based on peat, molehills tend to be jet black. Here's one here, look. You could actually take this home and put it on your garden. All you gardeners out there. One aspect of living on flat country is the skies are huge. Doesn't matter whether you're in Holland, in Norfolk, the Somerset levels, the sky goes on forever. That's Gabriel Hill and the Tor over there. Now 50 years ago this would have been an haystack, but then 50 years ago I'd have been 12 and I wouldn't have had a camera to film it, so. And you can just see the Tor peeping through over there in the distance. Apparently these are teeming with fish. I don't fish, so they can stay there for today. Most of these are now nature reserves. What were actually industrial peat workings, now full of water and full of wildlife. Yo, so we've reached kind of where we were walking to. We're about 2-3 miles away from home. So behind you there's a road. We couldn't get down a path earlier on because it was overgrown with nettles, and sadly both Barnaby and I are wearing shorts today, so that wasn't a goer. So we've had to come by a different route, and most of the route back home now is on a road, so I'm not going to bore you with that. If anything interesting does come up, I'll come back and you'll be the first to see it. If not, ta-da, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, you know the stuff. Click the bell. Bye. And of course something interesting has come up. That's the tour offer there in the distance, and we are at Sharpen Crossing. This was a level crossing on the Somerset and Dorset Railway on its route from Glastonbury to Burnham, and these are the original crossing gates, still in situ. That's where the gate would have hung. I love all this industrial archaeology in the landscape. Makes the walk worthwhile. The crossing cottages here had no water or electricity. The trains running along would have like little cans on the running plate, and they would hand them off to the crossing keepers as they went past, and that was their supply of water. This is the crossing cottage, now a private residence. There are many of these dotted across the levels. Not all have survived, sadly. Beautiful. You can just imagine a nice old Fowler 7F running across there with the mixed traffic on its way to Burnham-on-Sea. And what better way to finish the walk than a nice yummy visit to a blackberry bush. And here's one right here. That one was mine. Thanks for watching. This is now the end.
There we go. How about that? Splendid. What a lovely walk there. And it's just a shame that Barnaby wouldn't stop talking. However, Gabriel made up for that. And I was fascinated by the molehills. Would love to have grabbed hold of a shovelful of that, especially to bung in the garden. Not that I've got much of a garden, but it would have been lovely. Anyway, there we go. Thank you so much, Gabriel. I'm looking forward to seeing Gabriel when my next... Oh, hello. We have a phone call. Ladies and gentlemen, let's find out who that's from. Hold on. Let's bung on the headphones, the phone of headness. Hello to you, caller, calling in on the Vobes Show.
Good evening, Richard. It's the Moment of Murphy.
Oh, the Moment of Murphy down Scrap Heach Challenge, or whatever the television programme is called that I've heard of but never actually seen.
Steptoe and Son.
Oh, is it Steptoe and Son? There you go. So, what did you take down to the scrap heap then?
I took the old springs out, the old mattress.
Oh, down the dump. No,
to scrapyard.
What kind of mattress do you sleep on then? Like a bed of nails?
No.
It
was it was full of springs, and I think it was a hand-me-down from my grandmother.
Yeah.
That I got some 18 years ago.
My God.
I know it's done tremendous service, but
is it from the Victorian period?
Unfortunately, not.
No.
But it was a bit rancid. But it needs to go to pastures new.
Were you sleeping on it last night?
Yeah.
Is that why it's a bit rancid?
No, I had a bath last night.
Oh, I'm not saying that you didn't have a bath, but I mean that you're admitting that this was a bit rancid. You've been sleeping on it. At some point, there must be, this is a bit rancid. I can't sleep on this anymore. How long has this been rancid? It's been rancid for about 3 years. Oh, my goodness. I've been sleeping on this for 3 years. It's been a bit rancid.
I know. I said about it to my mum, and I thought I have spent probably the best part of my life on that mattress.
And is it sort of like bow shaped now?
No, it's compacted. I used some cable ties I had, put it in the car, took it over, weighed it in, money in the account on Monday.
Blimey. How much did it weigh?
I don't know. It was they classed it as mixed iron on my...
Mixed iron?
Yeah.
Any old iron.
Yeah, it was pretty much like that.
Gosh.
But they took it all. They did, and it was. They said as I came into the scrapyard.
Yeah.
They
said hello. What do we got here?
Yeah, they said you won't get an awful lot for it. I said I don't want an awful lot for it. I want it gone.
I want it gone. And there they were going, oh, well, we won't give him the 50, we'll just give him the 20 then.
Yeah, that's all right. There was other bits as well. Like, I even collect old jar lids, bottle tops, metal bottle tops, and even I scavenged the metal springs out of soap pump dispensers.
Soap pump dispensers.
Yeah,
That is not a phrase I imagined that I would be repeating on this show. What did you say? They can't even remember.
Soap pump bottles you get out of the supermarkets or wherever. It's like the metal springs in it. I scavenged them out of it. I'm anything metal, I will strip down and I will salvage. I'm just like that.
I can hear. So they know you down at the scrapyard, do they?
I haven't been to that one in well over a year.
Oh, okay. So you have others. You have other faves, do you, that you go to?
No, to be honest, it's only really the metal that we generate, and plus I get from I took some old baking trays over from one of my grandmothers, an old saucepan and some other bits from the other, and anything really that we generate as the household.
Oh, okay. So you said earlier you old metal lids. What comes in a metal lid these days?
Like your jam jars and that.
Oh, I see. Jam jar. Yeah, jam jar. So what? You take those down to the scrapyard?
Yeah.
Good for you. Gosh,
yeah.
I didn't think anybody ever did that since the 1950s. But that's amazing. And what do they? They weigh them out, do they? And they say there's 10 shillings and threepence halfpenny for that, son.
Yeah. Well, they stuck me up on the weigh bridge. Not me personally, but me in the car.
Yeah.
Weigh me in as I went in, and as I out, calculate the difference, sorted out the fractions, worked out what the going rates were. There you go. There's your kind of transfer note. There you go. Money's in the account on Monday.
You got all the lingo. So what? They weighed you in the car?
Yeah. So you drive up onto this like weigh bridge.
Yeah.
And then you drive off. You unload.
So you go in and you might be like 2.5 tons. That's the car, and 13 ounces. And you go out and you're 2.5 tons without any ounces. And so they know then that 13 ounces was the weight of the thing that you've got in there.
Yeah.
Could you do that with one single jam jar lid?
Unfortunately not.
I was going to say, how sensitive is it?
But I tend to gather it up over a period of time. It's
Listen, if you were very clever, I've just suddenly thought, if you were very clever, you could go in with whatever it is that you've got on there, and then you could say, oh, can I use your loo? And go in and in the little, have a number 2, make sure it's a really big one, so that when you come back, you're a lot lighter, and say, oh, yeah, extra 50 quid there, which, of course, is flushed down the loo and on its way to the local sewage farm.
Yeah, if only I been here this time whenever.
Could have advised you. Could have advised you.
I'll remember that next time.
Yes. My goodness. So this is really bizarre. This is and also very interesting at the same time, because I don't know many people that do that. So what do you do? You said you sell things. What do you do with the springs from the soap dispenser bottle?
Well, I take it down. I put all the plastic in the general waste.
Yeah.
Average the metals and put that in the metal bin. So I'm like a Gestapo in our household for recycling. If anything gets put in the wrong bin, I'm like, what is that in that bin? That shouldn't be there.
I see. Just I thought for a moment you took the little spring and you would go to the scrapyard, or you sold them by mail order or something.
Yeah, no, it's usually a collection. I usually got to take a big big container full of metal at a time. So it's not just one thing. It's a multitude of different things I take.
Oh, yeah. Well, that sounds... So when you do put your tins of soup or beans or something into the recycling, do you wash them?
Oh, yes. Oh. They're washed thoroughly with soapy bubbles, even plastic bottles. I take the labels and the lids off of it, so it's all very, very clean. And that...
You ever thought of offering your services to the local... to the local place where they do all of that for you, whatever the what do they call it? The recycling centre.
not really thought about that. But
Do you know, there's they must be calling out for people like you. Huge amount of money, 65 grand a year, with a flashy car and your own mop.
I'm sat across the living room with my dad's wedding.
Well, make sure you grab the underpants and clean them out before you put them in the appropriate bin. I don't. Whenever I do the my tins, I just swill them under the water if there's any lumps. But if it's soup, I just chuck them straight in. Leave the label.
I know. I also I'm one of these people who I wash whatever goes in there, and I'm also washes the actual bin every time it's pretty much emptied.
Right. Are you a bit of a clean freak?
No.
Just.
My dad's nodding his head. He is.
So this COVID thing's been quite useful to you, because I imagine then that you probably like to wash your hands about 24 hours a day. It's like, oh, look, I've taken my hands out of my pockets. I better wash them. After all, I was sleeping in that rancid bed only a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Actually, if you're a bit of a clean freak, how is it that you've managed to sleep in a rancid bed for 25 years?
I don't know. These things often get overlooked.
What, when the weevils are crawling all over you and the little bugs are sort of biting into you and you're going, well, I don't know about this. This is just normal. Was that how you were brought up? Were you brought up with sort of maggots and flies and worms?
No.
No, okay. And so you bought yourself a nice new mattress.
Of course I have. And it looks...
Of course. Is it comfortable?
Oh, it is. I was there testing all the mattresses in IKEA, and I thought, too hard, too soft, just right.
Oh, just like Cinderella. Not Cinderella. Goldilocks. Yeah, sorry, I knew it was one of them. I can't remember which one. And did you try the pee? Did you do the pee test?
What's the pee test?
Well, the princess and the pee. The princess had to. Her bladder was full one day, and so she went to the loo and got that out of the way. Then she lay on the bed and she went, "Oh, wait a minute, this isn't comfortable," and because she'd put a pee underneath the mattress, you see, and I think they had to do about 250 different mattresses before she found the one that was perfect. By which point, a weevil had eaten the pee.
I was thinking, what a waste of a pee it'd be.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd got it out with the old iron filing brush and cleaned the thing. Made sure. So now tell me, is the mattress that you've got, has that got springs in it, or is it a memory foam?
I think it has got springs in, but I felt it over there and I thought, this is the one.
And is it thick? Is it a big, thick thing?
Yeah. I think... on comparison to the other one, it's a lot thicker.
Right.
And it actually fits them. I've had an IKEA bed for about 10 years, and it fits perfectly. In hindsight, I thought I should have done this years ago.
Well, yeah, because lying on a bed that's infested with goodness knows what's probably not a good idea. But tell me, so I mean, IKEA is one of these places where you've got to have all the nuts and bolts and screws and things. Presumably, you just got a bag of springs, did you? A whole load of horse stuffing and a couple of sheets, and you had to actually sort of erect this yourself, did you? Is that how it works?
No, I just got it out of the packet, unrolled it, and put it on the bed. Simple.
Oh, simple as. Oh, I see. You didn't. It wasn't self-assembly mattress then. Sew here with an industrial sewing machine. Insert this spring at the appropriate thing. Make sure there are 4 to a square foot, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, no, it was. You literally unrolled it.
Literally unrolled it.
Yeah, you have to leave it because they all come like in a sort of coiled up. You literally unroll it.
It's memory foam then. It's memory foam, isn't it?
No, it's, this one I bought springs.
Well, you can't roll that up. Surely those springs.
Oh, no, they do. They literally roll it up.
Literally do that, do they?
And it's so easy.
Yeah.
That you get given like some handles that you literally load it into your car.
There's a lot of literally going on here. Yeah.
Oh, no. You put it on the back. I put it on the back seat, and it stayed there all journey home.
Good God. It's amazing, isn't it? Buying a mattress in the 21st century. Phew. I might have to go upstairs and just sweep up the straw and perhaps invest in one of those things, because there's a lot of weevils and rats and things in my bedroom.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't like it. But you can come in there and wash your hands plenty of times. I've got a little a blood bucket next to the bed, just in case I want to throw up. I don't know what I'm talking about. Sounds gross.
The chamber pot.
Chamber pot, yes, that's it. That's nice. I've sterilised my hands in the chamber pot. This is great. The soap's a bit of a discolourment, but never mind that. So, well, that was the big thing that you did and the big purchase. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today.
That's okay.
It's wonderful, and I hope your dad is okay now. He's recovered. Does your dad need his mattress changed?
Unfortunately, not. He changed his years ago.
Oh, he changed it years ago. Well, it might need a change then.
Nah, I think it's still all right.
That's lucky. Well, lovely to talk to you, Andy.
You too. I should be on hopefully some walks sometime soon. Hopefully once the rain clears.
Ah, yes. Let's make sure we get some clear rain. And until then, will you look after yourself? And
I will do. You too.
Make your dad a nice cup of tea now.
I will do. I'll give him a bourbon biscuit if I've got any.
Oh, lovely. Yes. Who wouldn't want a nice bourbon biscuit? Yeah, great. All right. Well, look after yourself.
You too. Take care, Richard.
Take care. Thanks for the call.
You're welcome.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. There we are. That was our moment of Murphy. Hilarious moment of Murphy, ladies and gentlemen, I think you'll find. That was a moment that I never thought I would actually undergo. But there we are. We found out what he took to the scrapyard, which is great. Mike Dixon has been in Ramsgate, as he already mentioned. We're going to find out what his luxury apartment was like in this little video that he's very kindly produced exclusively for the Vobes Show.
Hello, Vobesters. It's Mike Dixon. I'm in Ramsgate, staying here 3 nights with a mate of mine. We've rented a 2-bedroom apartment on the seafront in Wellington Crescent, which in its heyday we've got photographs and everything. It was an extremely posh area of Ramsgate, and only the very rich would have viewed what you're seeing. Beautiful. As I say, we're here for three nights. Quite expensive apartment, but the view is absolutely stunning. Anyway, I thought I'd just give you a little 2-minute guided tour of what we got. There's only 2 of us here. It's Bella and my wife are at home, and we just thought we'd come and do have a few days out with a friend. Now the lockdown. That's Andrew.
Hi, good morning.
Lovely.
Breakfast time.
Ooh, preparing breakfast. I'm going to do the fry up in a minute. Doing it healthy with healthy fry light. Actually, a very, very beautiful apartment. This company that we've rented it from, they buy old properties that are in very bad condition, send in a whole team of kind of architects, designers and builders to convert it. There's our dog saying welcome. It's here. It's our kind of lounge area. Again, very beautiful. The sunset out that window yesterday evening was kind of amazing. These are old pictures of Ramsgate in its heyday. That's the Lido, before everybody started going to Spain and Portugal for their summer holidays with guaranteed sunshine. That's of course the problem. There's one toilet down there. There are a lot of games. We're going downstairs. So very quickly, just to show you the type of accommodation we've got. This is kind of one of their luxury apartments. Beautiful bathroom. And we actually get our own garage with this property. Unfortunately, we did have to report when we arrived that the actual garage door, like a wooden door, but obviously it must have been swung back at some point and been damaged. So make sure they know that so they don't claim it off our big deposit. But I can understand they want a good deposit, so so that's one bedroom. That's where Andrew's staying, which is very spacious with his own loo. And then we've got this one that I'm keeping in. It's like it accommodates 4 people, this room. But, yeah, very nice, lovely views over the sea. But they've done a beautiful job converting most of these properties in the 70s, 80s would have been B&Bs, and then they've been converted in recent years into luxury apartments for mainly kind of timeshare. That's our Crescent, Wellington Crescent in its heyday. I say the only people who would have stayed here in this home with their servants would have been the very rich. Anyway, this morning I've got Andrew cooking the breakfast, so that's good. Now I'm going to help out in a minute. Anyway, just thought I'd share it with you. Our lovely apartment in Ramsgate, supporting English tourism. Okay, take care, bye.
Oh, how lovely is that? Isn't that fantastic? What a lovely place that is, Mike Dixon. Wonderful, and nice to see your friend there as well, working away as a personal chef. Brilliant. And by all accounts, you've had a lovely time too, which is great. It's always nice to get away. I've just got myself a bourbon biscuit, actually. A little bird sort of suggested it was a good idea to have one. Oh, we've got a phone call here, so let's put on the old phone of heads and find out who's ringing. Hello to the caller on the show.
Rag and bone!
Rag-a-bone! Rag-a-bone! Ah! Get your bones!
Bone!
Is that the Rag and Bone Man?
Do you remember the rag and bone?
Do I remember the Rag and Bone? In Shrewsbury, they still have a Rag and Bone Man going up and down the streets.
But did you get a free... In Wales, we had a free fish with anything that we give him. We got a free fish in a bag.
What kind of fish?
A goldfish.
A goldfish. I was going to say, not like a nice fish that you can, a nice bit of cod and chips or something. You just got one of these dreadful... I remember going to the fair and winning one of these dreadful little, goldfishes in a plastic bag. And you sort of the parents...
Exactly the same as that.
Yeah, and the parents are going, what the hell do we do with it? We've got nothing to keep it in. We've got nothing to keep it, and you bung it into a jug or something, and eventually it dies.
Now, you wanted a story about what I've bought.
The lovely Sean James Cameron, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are hard of identifying regular guests. And by the way, I'm having a bourbon biscuit. So, yeah, yes. Story about what you've bought.
Well, I've just bought a book.
Good man. Book. Oh, I'm interested.
I can't tell you what it's about.
You can't?
Because it should be arriving to you on Tuesday.
Oh, you bought me a book.
But I just thought to myself, there's no point me sending my HV Morton books that I've got.
No.
Because they're all about the London area. And I thought, what does he want to know about central London?
Yeah. Big Ben. I walked along the promenade and I looked at Big Ben. It struck 12.
So you'll have a book in the post. But I wanted to tell you the story. I've been out and about today.
Yes.
With my mask on.
Oh, yes. Now, come and tell me the story, because as you heard earlier, I went into the bank. £25,000 I got out. Fantastic. Well, I've got 6 months coming up, though.
And I've bought a special mask, like a proper mask.
What do you mean, a proper mask?
And it's £7.
What is a proper mask? Describe it to me.
No, well, I just had a scarf across my face. So I thought I'll go and buy a mask where you can put the the thing around your ears, like a proper thing. But she said, "You're not allowed in without a mask." I said, "No, but I want to come in to buy a mask." She said, "No, but you need a mask to come in." Anyway, I bought it from outside through the window, and it was £7.
Well, that's absolutely amazing. So
said,
I thought that technically it's just a face covering.
Yes, but she said these are the last lot we're getting because the bloke that's designed them has gone on holiday for 3 weeks. And I thought,
right.
well, at £7 each, I'm not surprised.
So describe what the mask. I don't quite understand what the mask looks like.
It looks like a surgical mask.
Oh, I see. Because I've seen a lot of people with these black. They look like neoprene slapped around their faces. I think, how do you breathe through that?
But another story that happened to me today, I went to the plastic-free shop.
Hang on a minute. If you just get this, I've got this these bloody headphones on my ears. I can't hear anything. The plastic-free shop.
Just before we go on to that.
Oh, right.
When I had the mask on,
yeah,
I found it very difficult to breathe, so I started to sweat more.
Yeah.
Which then gives you people start to look at you thinking you've got something.
Yes, of course. I was in the bank. I only wanted to put a couple of checks in, and I went into the bank and they said, "Oh, will you use the machine?" I said, "Yeah." I said, and they said, "Pardon?" So I went up to the machine, and as I'm looking down, my glasses are all foaming. So I just pulled subtly it down so my nose was free, and I sneezed all over the machine, leaving a nice thin layer of slime. And so I could, because you were pretty much on my own, because, like one in and one out.
Yeah.
And then I shoved the checks in, and then I surreptitiously put it back up over my nose, and then I leapt out, and as soon as I was out, I whipped it straight off in case, somebody had a camera.
That's exactly what I did. But
horrible.
I went to the plastic-free shop. It's a shop.
Yes.
That doesn't sell anything in plastic. So it's got all these containers all over the walls. You can buy your cornflakes and your grains.
Oh, okay. I've got it now. For a moment, I just thought it was free plastic. You could come in and just get free plastic.
Well, I went in and I was slightly perplexed by everything was in containers made out of plastic.
Ah. Oh, I see. What these great big bits. So what are you supposed to do? You just get some cornflakes and stuff and just shovel it in your pockets, is it? You just go, I'll have some of that.
Exactly what I bought. I said, can I have 6 ounces of cornflakes? Just to sort of try the system,
Yeah, good for you.
And she said, have you got a container? I said, no.
I've got a plastic bag.
She said, I'll put it into a paper bag for you. I said, how quaint.
How quaint. I'm allergic to paper.
So I held the paper bag underneath the container. I pressed the button, and they shot out.
Gosh.
Straight through the plastic bag. straight
through the paper bag.
And she said, hold on, I'll get you a plastic bag.
Are you allowed in with a plastic bag to pick up this stuff?
Yes. Well, you're supposed to supply your own plastic.
Yeah, so you can't get, so it's saving plastic, but of course you've got to invest in something plastic, because you paper bag, if it was wet and it's raining, you turn up and I've got this sort of papier-mâché object that once was a bag.
I haven't finished yet.
Oh my God, right, okay, so she's gone and got you a plastic bag, yes.
She then said it was something like £8.60. Anyway,
what, for the bag?
For the cornflakes.
Oh, for the £8? How many cornflakes did you have?
So I then took £10 out, and she said, "Oh, we don't take cash. We only take plastic."
Oh, fantastic! So,
I don't think I'll go there again.
No, plastic-free shop. Like, whereabouts in London is that?
Oh, they're all over the place.
Oh, are they?
Yes, it's like the latest fashion.
Oh. Right. I mean, we've had these. We've got one in Worthing, which these are big cardboard barrels.
Yeah.
With your cornflakes and currants and anything that you can have loose, and you scoop it out and you weigh it and what have you. But it wasn't. None of it's propelled. These are just in great big barrels, just sort of, no nonsense type thing. But how fascinating.
Anyway.
That was hilarious. And of course, we don't take cash; we take plastic. Well, these days, money is made out of plastic.
Well,
isn't it? It's a polymer of some description. Yeah. So how funny is that? Well, thank you very much for that. But so I'm anticipating a nice book from you, or a book anyway. That's very kind. Thank you very much. So, what did you say? Have you had a guess at what's in the? We've had.
Well, it could. Well, it sounds like those cornflakes as they hit the floor.
Yeah. Whatever it is, it's either broken or it's.
I think I'd go to the farm idea.
Do you think it's a farm construction?
Well, whatever it is, I think it'll be in bits if you carry on shaking it like that.
Well, at least it's not ticking.
Not yet.
Not yet. No.
Anyway.
No. Well, anyway, lovely. Thank you very much. And yes, just so you know, the rhubarb is still okay.
Perfect.
I haven't given it the urine sample yet.
Well, tomorrow morning, the first thing you do, get your plastic bottle.
Yes, get a plastic bottle and fill it up and say, what do you think?
Or just go outside and do it early, because you're up about 4 o'clock, aren't you?
Yeah, there's not many people about at that time. Thanks for that little
All the best.
tip of advice. Nice to talk to you, Sean.
Bye.
Take care, bye-bye. There we are, Sean James Cameron with a hilarious story. If you've been out with your mask on, I do want to hear it. We do have a phone number that you can, of course, ring, which will be on the screen as soon as I can artificially get it up there. Let's have a look at some of the comments, because you've been typing words with the typing facility, and it's been hilarious. I'm just going to go back. Francisco G says, I've no idea because I've returned to the show and wrote a comment people think would answer, but nobody did, and then moved to this account to see if the comment was showing up. Sorry about that. I think something happened in the past and it got put onto the sort of naughty stool, and I don't think we can come off the naughty stool once it goes there. Mark Selwood says, but that one we can see, so that's all good. Says, yes, it does set off airport security. I don't know what he's talking about. Peacock feathers, says Linda Kane. Yes, it could be peacock feathers. We've got another phone call. He's got busy tonight. Hang on, where's the old headphones? Here we go. Let's find out who's calling the old Vobie, one-eyed Kenobi. Hello!
Good evening, all.
It's lovely Gabriel!
Hello, buddy.
Hello, matey. How are you?
Oh, I'm all good, thanks. Just got home from work about half an hour ago.
Oh, we saw you pop in, but were you en route?
Well, I finished at 8 o'clock, so I started watching the show and said hello, and then drove home.
Oh, good. Have a guess. What is in the box?
Acne?
Acne? Oh, it could be. Yeah, it could be. Something I never suffered with when I was a kid, spots. Never suffered.
Or maybe young Andrew saved you a lot of springs.
Oh, yeah, it could be. It could be for Andrew Springs. That's very kind. Springs eternal, isn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So
does hope.
Anyway, so how are things, and what have you got a story for us?
Well, I thought you were talking about the mask.
Yes, the mask.
Obviously, I work in a retail environment.
Oh, yes, you do.
I do, don't I?
Yeah.
And we today had one person right at the very end coming without a mask. Everybody else had a mask on. I was really quite pleasantly surprised, actually.
So up until then, you haven't had to say, "Oh, have you got a mask? Could you put your mask on? Because it's the law."
Yeah.
So you had this one person. So tell us what happened.
Well, I wasn't serving.
Because you're not customer facing. You told us that you're not customer facing.
Not customer facing. No, I'm warehouse facing in the back mill, building bikes all day long.
Oh, bless you.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened with this geezer?
Oh, they just served him and he went away.
Oh, see, you just. I see. I was waiting. There was a big punch up. He said, "I'm not bloody wearing a mask. I'm coming here to buy a bicycle. I'm not wearing a bloody mask." What do you? I've been told that Richard Vobes, he doesn't go out wearing masks. It's good enough for him. It's good enough for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I wore the mask with something funny written on the front, but I can't think of anything suitably ironic to write on one yet. But I will do.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should have something that's got like sneeze printed on it.
Yeah.
Or cough, or something like something like, yeah, excuse me, I'm sweating. I've got coronavirus.
That's the one, yeah. Corona zone.
Corona zone, yeah. Especially if you could. Oh, it would be great if you could, if somehow you could have it so that it actually blew bubbles or something. So that, tiny little bubbles would come off, little corona bubbles.
Probably do that, actually. You put bubble mixture in it and then blow through it. You probably get those little micro bubbles.
Yeah, there we go. That would be quite.
That's a thought, wouldn't it? Or get LEDs. Get some LEDs.
LEDs, yeah.
Changing colour, mood LEDs.
Yeah.
When someone puts you off, they go red, and if you're feeling chilled out, they go whatever colour chilled out is.
Well, of course, if you've got LEDs in there, you could program certain responses and have it on a little thing in your pocket. So a certain button will press, obscenity at them if they annoy you, or you could have "thank you" or "that's very kind of you" or "get out of my way" or "I am affected, leave me alone." Up yours, exactly. All whatever response you could program it, which would be great. I think one's got to have a bit of a joke with it.
Lovely to hear young Jeff earlier on.
Young Jeff, yes, good old Killer Kellison. Lovely. And what do you think the chances are of sending gold panned from the Arizona or wherever it was that he had it, from the Mississippi? Was it? He was sitting right in the middle of the Mississippi, as I seem to remember, and sending that across. Do you think that will arrive?
I think it will. Yeah, I've had weird things come through the post.
I mean, I suppose it would come by aeroplane, would it? Do you think?
Depends how he sends it. Normally, yes, I guess it would.
Because gold's very heavy. It's very heavy.
Yes. Although you have to have quite a lot of it to be very heavy. I don't know how successful he was that day.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought that we were getting about 450 tons of it.
A couple of bullions for the post.
Yeah, exactly. And I
did. The postman struggling down the road with a wheelbarrow.
Should have asked him what carat it was.
Yes.
Because they always talk about the carats of gold, don't they?
Nice. They do, yes. But I tried eating it once. It tastes nothing like carrots.
No, got stuck in my fillings, all that gold, and it's never been the same since.
No, you're still there.
Yes, it's still. Every time I smile, people go, "Cool, you're rich, aren't you?" I said, "No, I was just eating this bloody gold that's got stuck in there." The dentists.
Absolutely.
So lots of people came in with masks, and are there bicycles available yet?
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bicycles. A couple of which I've been working on today and building. But that's it. Not a lot.
Are they safe?
Oh yeah, I built them.
I know. Well, I was just trying to get my Marathon Man quote in there. But is it safe, as opposed to are they safe? But is it safe?
Oh, I see. Yes.
Is it safe?
Yes.
Is it safe? Oh, because it went from the teeth there, the teeth, to the is it safe? Anyway, bad. Yeah. So you built them. So of course it's safe.
The angle. Mm-hmm.
Can you still buy bicycles with the old-fashioned 3-gear system?
Stormy answers. Yes, you can, but they tend to cost a fortune and be sort of have leather bits on them. But yes, you can still buy them.
And I mean, if I was to buy another bike, to be honest with you, I've got one. You've probably seen it in the video. It's a bit of a racing bike, really. And although it's got handlebars out to the side and not the drop handlebars, which I cannot stick, I don't want to be slumped over the bike as if I've been hit on the back of the head by a passing tank. I want one where I'm more upright. I saw this bloke, and he had one of those fold-up bicycles with the tiny wheels, but he had a trilby on, and he was very upright, and he looked like he should have been cycling through Switzerland. It was one of that sort of look. That was the sort of thing he was. He wasn't actually singing, and I just thought, with a pipe and a trilby and one of those, an upright bike. That's what I want. I want one of those.
You want a Dutch bike?
Yeah, Dutch bike. That's exactly what I want. A Dutch one that.
Very tall, very upright.
Yeah, because I imagine that's better for your back. I mean, if you're not looking for speed, where it doesn't matter if the land speed record isn't broke and the bluebird can whiz past you. If you're not worried about that, then and you're just pootling along.
They're also very easy if you're wearing normal clothes, rather than the skinny
neoprene.
stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
I go to Bruges a lot. I love Belgium and Holland and all those sorts, Netherlands rather.
Yeah.
And over there, you see them cycling to work in the morning. Normal people here would just drive a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on these bikes. And they've got immaculate suits on, or the ladies are wearing skirts and dress for the office.
Yes, it's
incredible.
funny. I just say they can do that over there, and they get there, and I, presumably they don't smell when they get there. Whereas over here, the odd person that you see, they're all dressed up in their neoprene with a little haversack on the back, and then presumably they go into the cubicle at home at work, change into their Armani suits and put their ties on and this, that, and the other, and then spend the day, sitting behind a desk, and then go home. But they must perspire a lot. But if you've got a bike that you haven't got to feel that you've got to go 90 miles an hour, you can just go elegantly to work. You're not going to get too much of a muck sweat, are you?
No, I don't think so. And of course, it's flat over there, isn't it?
Well, I guess that is true. That is half the bat. That is
riding on a billiard table.
Talking of flat, I was thinking the music you used in your video just earlier when we played it in. I don't know if you were around at that point, but we played it in. It's a fantastic video, and I'm itching to talk to you about all those wonderful shots that you do.
Thank
you. Just want to see what mechanisms you're using to get it stable, because every time I use my GoPro to do all that, it just comes out winky wonky. But what was the question? Oh yeah. So somebody was saying in there they thought they were expecting Clint Eastwood. I think it was Mark Selwood saying Clint Eastwood and Claude Van Damme, or whatever. Not Claude Van Damme, the other bloke from The Few Dollars More. Whatever his name is, I can't remember now. But very sort of spaghetti western. And I thought, but what people haven't realised is you're walking on the plains, just as Clint Eastwood was riding over the plains. Just the plains were different country. Hence the the good, the bad, and the ugly type music.
Of course, it was a little bit ironic because Glastonbury or Somerset is the deep south. If we were in America,
you'd be the deep south too. Yeah.
We're like a piggy boy, we're in the deep south down here. Plus, I knew you was going to mention cowboys and spaghetti westerns. That's why I put it in.
Very good. It ticked all my boxes. Psychotic as well. Psychotic. That's me. Where are we all in it?
Funnily enough, it's the same guy who did the music for my last 5 or 6 videos. I really like his stuff, and it's all free to use as well. So that's good.
Have you heard? Have you heard of Artlist?
Yes, Artlist. I'm looking at Artlist because I think I told you about it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you told me. I did look at that because I was looking at that, and the other one is Euphoric or something.
Yeah, somebody did mention it, and I did write it down because I was going to go and have a look at it, and I forgot what it was called. And
the thing about Euphoric. I did watch a video about Euphoric. Someone was comparing the two. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little bit of mood music, but it's quite useful for people who do make videos. The thing about Euphoric music was, and this happened to me when I was filming with Floating Your Boat the other day, the little interview I did. I used the music off their video and used it in mine.
Demonetised you.
Demonetised it immediately because they got it. They obviously have an account with Euphoric. Now, Euphoric music will not lift. So if you lift it and what have you, and you don't have an account, obviously you can't use their music. So your video is demonetized. I didn't mind in that, but if it was on everyone, of course it would be different. And it was lovely to see Fran and Rich. Of course, they're great people.
Yeah.
And it just made the video using their music because it was about them. So that was that. But Artlist, if they had an account with Artlist and I lifted the music and put it in my video, it wouldn't have demonetized.
No, I don't think it would. Because I believe it's the Creative Commons license. It's all to do with the licensing.
Yes.
I'm not sure of the legalities of it.
No.
But the beauty about Artlist, it's £190 a year. It's not cheap.
Well,
but if you're doing any commercial work, you'll get that back in your first video.
Yes. Well,
and if ever you unsubscribe, the music's yours forever.
Yes. And I'm slightly concerned about Euphoric. I've always I've been nervous about production music because I've used production music in the past, and all my proper my documentaries have used production music, and I get no money whatsoever. And they're the ones that I get big views on, and I get no money whatsoever for those. And the bloody production company gets all the money that I would get.
Yeah,
So it's a shame. But anyway,
I was put onto this by the guy who did the Harry Minity, the guy from Essex that I showed you the video of.
yes, I'm saying
He
yes.
uses it. He's
right.
a commercial videographer, and he uses it. And I thought, oh, that looks good.
Yes, yeah, no, I will. I will join up with that because I'm running out of decent music on my. I mean, I keep using the same old themes. That's the trouble. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time. We'll pick a date and we'll have a good old long day of a good chat when I'll take you out for a meal somewhere because a certain Mr. Kellison has made a donation to ensure that we have a nice slap up somewhere.
Well, then let's raise a glass of lemonade to him.
Exactly. We certainly shall.
Thank you, Jeff, if you're listening.
He's a top man. Brilliant.
Top geezer.
You look after yourself and I'll catch up with you soon.
Absolutely. Oh, I've been reading up on your drone, your Fimi.
Yes.
It's got some really good write-ups. It's quite a capable little drone. You should have no trouble flying it.
Good. Well, I apparently I've got to update the firmware and check the... There's something else that Jeff keeps telling me to do, which is to do with the camera, to check the guidance something. So it's whatever. No idea how to do that. I did sit down and try and do all these things, and to be honest with you, I'm rubbish at that. So we might need access to the internet somewhere to do that, but I'll make sure it's all charged.
Yes.
All right, better go.
Okay, my friend.
Take care.
Talk soon.
All the best. Bye. Lovely Gabriel there, ladies and gentlemen. Hope that's... We still haven't got to the bottom of what this mysterious box is. But I will open it... I don't think it's fresh fruit, so I will... and my birthday isn't until next week, so I'm going to leave it there. And we'll see what it is. Just change the handlebars, Richard, says Andrew Norris. Just change it. Yes, well... It's you say that on the bike, and maybe it is possible. I need one with a much longer stalk. I don't know if that's the technical term, but on my bike, it's here. But I want one up there. I also need some new tyres on it. It needs a bit of work, to be honest with you. Sean's homestead says, don't forget the lycra. Not wearing lycra by any means. Down by the edge, down by the river. Today I bought a bag of carrots. Does that mean I'm rich? Yes, I think it does. Those kind of carrots. What's flat landscape, says Robert Croser. Yeah, true. Where you are, very, very wibbly wobbly and up and down. Mark Selwood says all those business types are now scootering to work on battery-powered, unlicensed for the road use scooters. Yes, and they're encouraging children to buy them. I keep seeing them on the road. Bloody nuisance they are. A right nuisance. Lee Van Cleef, treble clef. Once upon a time in the West, says Edward Moulding. Great music. All complete the sight, the seed of life with you. Pretentious twaddle, says Mike Stevens. I'm not quite sure what that was about. I remember the artist, but not remember the Envato elements. Dream on to the heart of the sunrise. I think it's Lego. Dave Ford says seems to be more of this copyright claim videos cannot be monetized but doesn't count as a strike going on. Yes, most of my videos that I've had other production music on, which I don't get any money for, and they do. Now, this is a very unfair situation because sometimes you use music in error, and so what happens is if you have a little bit of non-copyright music in it, not only do you not... So you could have like 5 seconds of this bit of music. So not only then do you... and say your video is, just for the sake of argument, 20 minutes long, and you've got a 10-second clip that you thought was copyright-free but isn't, and you put it in, and that means all of your 20-minute video is unmonetized. All of it. Not... say half and half, but all of it you don't get any money. And that money that you would have got is shared between YouTube and the production company who's been infringed and for which that they've made a claim. Of course you can mute it out or re-edit it and upload it. Of course you can. But it's just a strange system, particularly when a lot of the time, I mean, I know they're uncredited, but if they said, please will you credit the music in the description, which is a very quick thing to do, people, I mean, they're just more likely to get people going, oh, I like that bit of music. I wonder what that was. Oh, that's from so-and-so music company, because it would be in the description. And then they're more than likely to get someone to sign up. But all what now does is put me completely off this like euphoric, and will just say to other people, don't go and use euphoric sound, because if you take a clip from my video, which I don't care if you take a clip from my video, but they get all a bit arsey and go, oh, well, you can't have any money. So, yeah, so I think it's counterproductive, really. Lovely Julia says, yes, Franco, he's catching up with comments from during the phone call. Sean says scooters are now legal. Oh, and licensed. Saw it on the news last week. Chris Frost, hello. Richard should use ape hangers, not cow horn handlebars. Ape hangers. Not heard of those. Connor's Dark Corner says that's what made me mad in one of my videos. Yes. Is that what, the scooters or the ape handlebars? I think that people can put a copyright claim on YouTube videos as such. I'm pretty sure that it's done automatically. Yes, it is done automatically. They recognise the music. My channel has some piano covers for which a couple have been claimed. Yes. Claimed almost as soon as they are uploaded. Yes, I know the technology now, the big brother is watching you, is all over the place. Although I don't actually have a big brother. I have a little sister. That's why I use other people's music. Oh, don't use that. Well, Andrew Norris, you can compose your own because you're a talented individual who can do that. Me, I mean, I could hum it, couldn't I? But you've heard my singing on this show in the past, and actually that has lost viewers. By the way, 39 likes, 73 viewers. Give us a thumbs up. Working very hard here, busking on the internet. This is how I feel that we're doing. Busking on the internet. I've got an eye and two eyelids. I've got an eye and two eyelids to support. Yeah, one eye and two eyelids to support. Dave Ford says, I videoed my dog doing an obedience competition. There was music playing on in the next ring and you could hear it just in my video for 30 seconds and YouTube picked it up. Copyright claim marked. I know. Well, I think in that case you could probably say, well, it wasn't part of the track. You might be lucky. But, you know, it's almost... I never ape hangers. Think rally chopper. Oh, right, rally chopper. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I just want to be... I want to sit on the bike more upright. I don't want to sit like this. And some of them, you just think they must be L-shaped when they get off their bikes. They're just, you know, like that. And it must be awful for the wives. Well, quite handy, really. They come in and they sort of put their... champagne or Chablis or whatever, the Prosecco, isn't it? They all drink Prosecco. They just put the Prosecco on his back as the hubby comes in from the cycling, sort of bent down like this. Oh, marvellous, darling. Bink. Your table is a bit sweaty. Yes, it's just been cycling with the Tour de Force, you know. Oh, really? The Tour de Force? It used to go in France, but now it's just the Force. Anyway, so there we go. Sean, you could share your post on the Vobes Show rather than the Bald Explorer group on Facebook. Yeah, join the Vobes Show. Yes, for those things related to the Vobes Show, it's a good point that Julia makes, that we do have a Facebook page, and I suppose there's a community. There's a community tab, which you can put stuff on and. Rather than the Bald, because if it's Vobes Show stuff, it shouldn't go in the Bald Explorer. It's two different things. I'm two different people, split personality. So that's quite good. I have my saddle a bit lower to sit comfortably on my bike. Yes, well, I like to have on my bike when I'm riding my bike, just as a technical thing. I like to have when the pedal is at its lowest point, my leg is just under straight, not completely straight, but just the fraction under straight. So I've still got a bent leg, but it's infinitesimally, like, so you never sort of lock it out, as it were. But so it's pretty much fully extended at the lowest point, rather than having your knees up here like this, doing, you know, what they do on those BMX bikes. The most ridiculous bikes ever invented, those BMX bikes. And you see these kids of about 15 on a bike that's sized for a kid of about 6. It's the most ridiculous thing. But Billy was like that. Billy he would be cycling this BMX bike that he got, and it would be far too small for him. And he'd go on a cycle ride, and he'd come back, and he'd be absolutely knackered out because he'd never extended his legs. And I would try and put him straight. And, oh, no, I can't ride. It was peer pressure. Had to ride this ridiculous bike because they're just stunt bikes, which is fair enough if you're doing stunts. But he's doing a cycle ride with no brakes, ladies and gentlemen. No brakes. And that time we lived on a hill. Everest it was. He only fit it once. It fit the best. Fit Everest. Ted Moult, dead. But he's in a glass coffin, Ted Moult. He made sure that when he died, he was in a glass coffin so that just in case someone put a wind machine on, he could put his feathers wouldn't, because he had buried with feathers, they didn't blow about. If you didn't get that, then you were born far too young. Anyway, I think that's it. This is actually the correct way to set up your bike, says being there. There we go. Marvellous. So I'm going to take some advice from Monsieur Gabriel Avalon, ride with me. Anyway, that's about it really today, ladies and gentlemen. It's 20 to 10. Don't keep me up any later than I need to be. I've got beauty sleep to have. It doesn't quite work, but I'm working on it. I might wake up like Goldilocks in the morning with 3 bears next to me. How nice. And some stone cold porridge of different consistencies. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you so much. Lovely to have the lovely Julia and Judith out there moderating as ever, which is really cool. And to have you guys watching and commenting and the wonderful phone calls that we've had. Thank you very much for that. And, of course, for the 2 videos that came in, which was superb. And don't forget, of course, if you do enjoy this stuff, this is what I do for a living. I'm busking on the internet at thebaldexplorer.com. You can make a little donation if you think, it's like going out to the cinema or it's like going to the theatre and interacting. If you feel that there is anything of value in this show, a poor, impoverished man like myself, then, throw us a couple of Bourbon biscuits. That would be lovely. Anyway, there you go. Thank you so much. Look after yourself. I've got to go. People to see, phone calls to make, letters to write, tortoises to eat, Japanese hogworms to tread on, and lots of other things. Take care. Thank you so much for coming along. I'll see you on Monday. No shows over the weekend, but there'll be a video of some description. 2 videos over the weekend, and that would be that. So, all the best, and goodbye! Goodbye! Bing! There we are. Look at that. It was marvellous. What a lovely show that was. All those lovely people coming in here saying, oh, yes, we like that show, Richard. You were amazing. That's so nice of them. You're right down there, Eric? That's right, sir. I want you to make sure you archive this show and get it online in the appropriate time. I will, sir. Excellent. Can you put the goodbye caption on, please? Right, sir. Turn that handle sharpish. Oh, no. Goodbye caption coming up now. Bing! Or as Nigel Sadler says, ping.